Welcome back to Ms. Hasna's Literary Corner. Today we're going to be reading another animal tale. It's called Owen and Mzee, the true story of a remarkable friendship. And this one doesn't have a dust cover, so meaning it got lost. So there's no part about the author or about where you would find what this book is about. However, we will always have our title page and our publication information. So this one, it's really small again, but our copyright is 2006. So this is actually really similar to and soon to when this one was written. Again, we have our letter to our readers, and we also have the dedication, just like in the Hope for Winter. This is the true story of two great friends, a baby hippopotamus named Owen and a 130-year-old giant tortoise named Mzee. The hippo was not always friends with the tortoise. He wasn't always known as Owen. And Owen was not always famous the world over. Here is how it all happened. Before the baby hippopotamus became known as Owen, he lived with his mother in a group, or pod, with about 20 other hippos. They fed and wallowed in and around the Sabaki River in Kenya, a nation on the east coast of Africa. When he was about 1 year old, heavy December rains flooded the river. The racing water rushed Owen and his family down the river until the fresh water became salty, and the river flowed into the Indian Ocean near the small coastal town of Malindi. For days, the people of Malindi tried to chase the hippos back up the river, but the hippos enjoyed grazing the grasses along the shore and in the villagers' yards. Since hippos are the most dangerous animals in Africa, and a full-grown adult can weigh as much as 8,000 pounds, there was little the people could do. Owen lived in a pod of hippos like this one. On the morning of December 26, 2004, the sea suddenly rushed high onto the beaches, and surging waves pounded the shore. Many of the villagers' boats were damaged, and many fishermen had to be rescued. Before long, the sea was calm again, but it was a frightening time for everyone. A day passed before anyone thought to check on the hippos. The villagers now saw only one hippopotamus in the sea, a baby without his mother, stranded on a sandy coral reef among the seagrass. Tired and frightened, he was unable to reach the shore on his own. Soon, hundreds of villagers and visitors were working together to help the young hippo. They knew that he would become sick if he stayed in the salty seawater for long. They used ropes, boats, fishing nets, and even cars to try to rescue him and bring him ashore to safety. Owen was stranded alone on a reef. Malindi fishermen and their colorful decorated wooden boats. So this is some of the equipment that they were using to try and help rescue. It was soon clear that a rescue wouldn't be easy. Though the baby hippo was only about 2 feet tall, he weighed a hefty 600 pounds and was slippery and strong. Also, the hippo was alarmed by all the human commotion. Angrily, he broke through their nets and escaped from their ropes. Hours went by, and the anxious crowds of people who gathered to watch feared that the hippo could not be saved. Finally, with a stronger shark net, rescuers were able to catch the hippo. A brave visitor named Owen Sobin tackled him, stopping him long enough to let other rescuers secure the net. That is why, when it came time to choose a name for the hippo, it seemed only right that he should be called Owen. At last, the rescuers towed the baby hippo toward land. When they reached the shore, a loud, joyous cheer went up from the 1,000 men, women, boys, and girls who now crowded the beach. Their happy cries could be heard almost a mile away. Wrapped in the net, Owen was hoisted into the back of a pickup truck and brought to a shady spot. The cheers could be heard almost a mile away. So obviously it's hard to see, but Owen is in this area and they are taking him to a shady spot. People weren't sure where Owen should be taken next. They called Haller Park an animal sanctuary about 50 miles away near the city of Mombasa. Dr. Paula Kahumba, the manager, immediately offered Owen a place to live there. She explained that he could never be returned to the wild. Since he was still a baby, he wouldn't have learned yet how to fend for himself, and he would never be welcomed into another hippopod. He would be seen as an intruder and attacked. But they would take good care of him in Haller Park. Dr. Paula offered to drive to Malindi herself to bring Owen to his new home. Dr. Paula knew she would need help. She asked the chief animal caretaker, Stephen Toohey, to come along with her. She knew that Stephen had a way with the animals. Some people said he could even talk to them. Dr. Paula and Stephen quickly set off in her small truck to Malindi. Meanwhile, ecologist Sabine Bear got to work with others at Haller Park to prepare for Owen's arrival. Dr. Paula, Stephen, and Sabine were eager to help the orphaned hippo. When Dr. Paula and Stephen arrived in Malindi, they helped to remove the nets and lead Owen out of the pickup. But Owen became angrier than ever and charged at the people gathered around. They tried to help him calm down by wrapping a blanket around his head. That way, he wouldn't see the things that were upsetting him. But Owen was angry about that too. After many hours, about a dozen rescuers managed to move Owen from that pickup truck into Dr. Paula's truck, tying him so that he would be safe during the long drive to Haller Park. Everyone tried to make Owen as comfortable as possible. Meanwhile, Sabine and other workers prepared a large enclosure for Owen. They chose a part of the park that had a pond and a mud wallow, as well as tall trees and brush. Everything a hippo would want. The area was already home to a number of bush bucks, vervet monkeys, and a giant Aldabra tortoise named Mzee. Mzee, whose name means wise old man in the Swahili language, was the oldest creature in the park. At about 130 years of age, he had been alive since before Stephen's grandmother was born. He wasn't very friendly, except to Stephen, who seemed to know just what he liked, such as getting tickled under the chin. Otherwise, Mzee kept to himself. No one could have guessed how Mzee's life was about to change. So here's Stephen tickles Mzee under the chin. Finally, Dr. Paula and Stephen arrived with Owen, who was now weak and exhausted. As soon as the ropes that held him were untied, Owen scrambled from the truck directly to Mzee, resting in a corner of the enclosure. Owen crouched behind Mzee, the way baby hippos often hide behind their mothers for protection. At first, Mzee wasn't happy about this attention. He hissed at Owen and crawled away. But Owen, who could easily keep up with the old tortoise, did not give up. Slowly, as the night went on, Mzee began to accept his new companion. When the park workers checked on them in the morning, Owen was snuggled up against Mzee, and Mzee didn't seem to mind at all. That night, Owen and Mzee snuggled close together. Over the next few days, Mzee continued to crawl away, and Owen continued to follow him. But sometimes it was Owen who would walk away from Mzee, and Mzee who would follow. Bit by bit, Mzee grew friendlier. At first, Owen wouldn't eat any of the leaves left out for him. Stephen and the other caretakers were worried that he would weaken even more. Then they noticed Owen feeding right beside Mzee, as if Mzee were showing him how to eat. Or perhaps it was Mzee's protective presence that helped Owen feel calm enough to eat. No one will ever know. But it was clear that the bond between Owen and Mzee was helping the baby hippo to recover from being separated from his mother and stranded in the sea. With Mzee by his side, Owen began to eat. As the weeks went on, Owen and Mzee spent more time together. Soon, they were inseparable. Their bond remains very strong to this day. They swim together, eat together, drink together, and sleep next to each other. They rub noses. Owen leads the way to different parts of the enclosure. Then, Mzee leads the way. Owen playfully nuzzles Mzee's neck, and Mzee stretches his neck forward, asking for more, just as he does when Stephen tickles him under the chin. Though both animals could easily injure each other, they are gentle with one another. A sense of trust has grown between them. Owen nuzzled Mzee's ticklish neck. Wildlife experts are puzzled about how this unlikely friendship came to be. Most have never heard of a mammal such as Owen and a reptile such as Mzee forming such a strong bond. Perhaps for Owen it happened this way. Young hippos like Owen need their mother in order to survive. An old, slow tortoise like Mzee can never protect Owen the way a fierce mother hippo could. But since Mzee's coloring and round shape are similar to a hippo's, it's possible that to Owen, Mzee looks like the hippo mother he needed, or he needs. Harder to explain is the affection that Mzee seems to show for Owen. Like most Aldabra tortoises, Mzee has always preferred to be alone. But sometimes these tortoises live in groups, and perhaps Mzee sees Owen as a fellow tortoise, the first tortoise he is willing to spend time with. Or perhaps Mzee knows that Owen isn't a tortoise, but likes him anyway. The reasons are unclear, but science can't always explain what the heart already knows. Our most important friends are sometimes those we least expected. Mzee and Owen playing Follow the Leader. News of Owen and Mzee's friendship quickly spread around the world. People all over have come to love Owen, who endured so much yet never gave up, and Mzee, who became Owen's friend when he needed one most. Their photographs have appeared in countless newspaper and magazine articles. Television programs and even a film documentary have been made about them. Visitors come to Holler Park every day to meet the famous friends. Owen and Mzee look out for each other. Owen suffered a great loss, but with the help of many caring people and through his own extraordinary resilience, Owen has begun a new, happy life. Most remarkable is the role that Mzee has played. We'll never know for sure whether Owen sees Mzee as a mother, a father, or a very good friend, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is that Owen isn't alone, and neither is Mzee. And that is the true story of Owen and Mzee, two great friends. Owen's future is bright. So here is where you can see more factual information about it. So Malindi is a small town on the coast of the Indian Ocean. So here's the Indian Ocean, and Malindi is right here. And they had to take them to Mombasa in order to meet or find this reserve. And here is some more information about the two animals mentioned in this story.